In today's video, we're going to be looking at an incredible plugin called Dehancer. Now, if you want to recreate a film look from back in the day, then this is your go-to plugin, or at least it should be. Now, I recently received an email from Dehancer asking me if I could do a review of this plugin. And so by no stretch is this a review where I tell you what they want me to tell you, or what they want me to tell you. This is a review where I'll give you my honest feedback, and I'll also give you a tutorial on how exactly this plugin works. Now, when I started my video production career, I started out right at the bottom, and unfortunately for those who just started at the company, I had to convert 8mm, 16mm and 35mm film. But I ended up enjoying it so much, and I've learned a lot. I saw the different film types, the different looks and feels, and I learned to love this whole film look. And so when I got this email from Dehancer, I was so excited because I couldn't wait to test this out and also to give you my honest opinion about what I think. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Duan. It's do unto others what you want to do unto yourself. And on this channel, we learn all about film and Davinci Resolve. So strap in. This is going to be a wild ride. Now, before we jump in, I want to tell you about an amazing offer. If you get Dehancer today, you can get 10% discount. You can use this code when you check out, and that will apply your 10% discount. On top of that, I will also do a comparison where I will be comparing the film look creator in Davinci Resolve to Dehancer and see what the difference are and also which one is better. So stay tuned for that video. I recently did a really cool retro shoot with different models wearing different retro outfits, and I think this will be the perfect opportunity to play around with Dehancer and see how we can make this footage even more retro. So let's check it out. So in this video, I'm not going to give you an in-depth tutorial. I'm going to play with Dehancer and tell you what I think and also explain different concepts as we go through some of the settings so that you can understand what they do. But there's also a manual when you do purchase Dehancer that will explain all of these different things in much greater depth. So here's a 30-second edit from the shoot that I did, and I'm going to go ahead and apply Dehancer to this short edit, and at the end we will see what this will look like. So first of all, there's 3 ways to add Dehancer to your clips. You can add it straight from the effects panel in your edit window onto your clip, or you can go ahead to your color page, and in your color page you can add it onto that line so it creates a new node. Just something to note that if you do use Dehancer, it has to be at the end of your node structure. So if you do corrections before that, then just make sure that it's right at the end. And then lastly, back at the edit page, if we want to create the same effect on all of the clips, you can grab an adjustment layer, drag it over your whole project, and on this adjustment layer you can then go ahead and add Dehancer to that adjustment layer, and that in return will add the same effect to all the clips. So that's not what we're going to do today. We're going to adjust all the different individual clips. So I'm going to play around with the first clip to just show you how it all works, and then I'm going to finish it off and show you what it looks like at the end. So first, let's go to the color page, and in the color page here we're going to make some adjustments. So let's start right at the top because this is very important. Now it's important to select the right color profile, and here by source, here you can select the right color profile. So a normal timeline would be Rec 709, so that's what I'm going to select for this project. If you filmed in a different format from a specific camera, you can go and say choose camera, and under vendor you can select the brand that you were filming with, DJI, and here you can also select what profile you filmed in D-Cinelike. For this, I'm just going to select Rec 709 because that is the format that I filmed in. After that, there's some settings here that you can adjust, like the exposure, temperature. The defringe is basically chromatic aberration. So sometimes when we shoot into the light, there's chromatic aberration that forms. That's basically where the blue, red, and yellow split up. And so when you defringe it, you bring those colors together again. So if you need that, you can just enable it over here. But for this, we wouldn't need it. And then this is the very overwhelming part. I think when you open up this plugin, there's so many presets from different film from back in the day that you can choose from, and to go through every single one can be a pain. So to understand all of these presets better, you can go onto the website. On the website, you can go to profiles, and under profiles, you can see all the different color profiles grouped into different sections. So here we've got motion picture films, color negative films, color positive films with all their different profiles, and black and white films, instant films, exotic films, and cross-processed films. You'll also see that there's an option for print profiles later on, and these are the print profiles. Basically what this is what it will look like when you print it on paper. So for this clip, I'm just going to stick with Kodak Gold 200, and here in push-pull, EV is just how this film was exposed. So if you want to enable this, you can just click that, and there you can see what this looked like. So I'll just keep it over there. And then under film developer, so one of the first things that I notice is this really is for people who understand film, so more like advanced people, which I wish that they made it a little bit more user friendly for more people to understand, because if you don't go and read the manual and understand what's happening, then you can easily get lost, and most of these things can easily go over your head. Now, it's one thing to try every setting, but there are so many settings to choose from that it will take you forever to actually go through all of these different settings. So just one thing to note, it's really important to go and read the manual so that you can understand all of these different things. So film developer is basically how the film is developed. Color separation, the color boost, the contrast boost, all of these different things. And if you want to play around with that, you can just go ahead and enable that. Next, we have film compression, and you'll notice that with film, they didn't have dynamic range. The highlights were generally blown out quite a bit, and there was like quite a narrow range of colors, highlights, shadows, and all of these different things. So and this is basically where you can go ahead and adjust this. Next, with the expand, here you can expand either the black level or the white level. And print, what I mentioned earlier on the website, here you can select 3 different options. It's film log, Canon, print film, and the glossy paper. And I actually quite like this look. It looks really nice. So you can then just go ahead and play with this. So with color head, that allows you to split the highlights, mids, and shadows from one another. So on that bar, when you turn it to the right, it goes yellow. When you turn it to the left, it goes blue. And that allows you to create some nice effects, to create deep shadows, blue shadows, and warm highlights, just to create some nice effect to your footage. And then the film grain, so usually with 8mm you had a lot bigger pieces of grain. So you can see when I select 8mm and increase that amount, the grain is quite big compared to the 16mm or the 35mm. The 35mm, because the film was bigger, the grain is a little bit smaller, so it creates different looks and feels. So you can play around with that and see what you prefer. Now halation is basically, like I like to say, it creates like a watery look. And then bloom is where when you increase bloom, it creates a glow wherever there's highlight. So this is really nice, especially if you've got lights, and you can use this bloom effect on basically anything. And then film damage, this is very nice. It creates like little speckles during the playback of the video, just to kind of put the cherry on top when you want that film look. Film breadth is basically just a change in exposure because of a film that ran over the lens. It's very subtle, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And then gate weave, when you enable this sometimes gives you like a wobbly feeling because of a film that ran over the lens. It wasn't always perfect. Sometimes it moved a little bit back, sometimes it moved a little bit forward, so you can play around with this, but it is also a very subtle effect. And with overscan, you can play around with this. If you do narrow it down, you can see the film strip. So if you want to create a look where there's film in your shot, you can. This looks really nice, and if you want to get rid of it, you can. And then a vignette, that is self-explanatory. I think most people know what that is. So if you enable that, creates like a little bit of a shadow around your frame. So that's also sometimes really nice to use. With monitor, sometimes you want to expose using this. So for now, I'll just leave that. You can play with that if you want to. And then with the output, you can adjust the mix that you want of this effect and your original footage. If you pull it down, you'll see that you have your original footage, and when you pull it back up to 100%, it's all the settings that we've just added. So you can reduce it a little bit depending on the look that you are going for. So for now, I'll just leave it on 100. And then if you do want to export a certain look, now this is really, really cool. I actually love this feature. So you can adjust or select the size, and then you can export the LUT or the look that you just created. So you can just select where you want to save it and save it. And then options for the rendering, you can either just set it to normal, which will render fast, or you can have it high quality, which will render it a little bit slower. So luckily this effect isn't too intense on your CPU, so it is actually very nice to work with. Woo! So now that we've gone through all the settings, I'm gonna go ahead and make my footage look amazing, and then right after this I'm gonna show you what it looks like. But before we do that, I want to tell you about Dehancer's mobile app, where you can do the same thing. So it has all the presets that you've got in Davinci Resolve, and you can select pictures, videos, and create those same effects on this video. So you can go to the App Store and download this for your mobile phone, which is incredible. So let's get working. So that was a whole lot of fun, and I can honestly say I really like this plugin. It is super powerful. I mean, you can adjust almost anything, any setting, anything that you want. You can add it, you can take it off. It is super powerful. My only comment is that it can be really complicated if you don't know what's going on. If you don't understand film, it can be very complicated, and it will take some time to get used to. So you might have to spend some time, go through the manual, make sure you understand everything. The other thing is that I think it could be quite expensive, but if you use it a lot, I think this is definitely the go-to plugin, because this will take off all limits to your color grading and actually take it to the next level. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.